What's the abstract? Seeing if I can get some goofing off in during the daytime, but there are not a whole lot of people on right now. And LFG is looking a little thin on the ground. Yeah, it does seem like the nighttime is kind of when most people are popping. But I'll hang out at the well here for a little bit, see if anything happens, and if not, then I'll run around and gather for a bit and see if more people pop on. How did the After Dark stream go last night? Yeah, at this point, I've got a set of buffs, so I may as well at least wander around and see if I can get some junk kills in while I wait. But again, this is one of the things that does speak to a core issue with this gameplay design, which is both a good and a bad thing, is that when functionally everything is group-centric, designed around having groups in a static vertical progression game, and you get lulls, dead spots, etc., with no way to actually make up for that, you have a lot of standing around sitting on your thumbs that you're likely to be doing as opposed to playing the damn game. For a great many people who play during non-peak hours or irregular playtimes. Were you guys causing trouble, Drac? Were you rubbing some people the wrong way? See if I remember right, these rats are all... well, screw it. You're green and you're in my way, and I have a new hammer to hit stuff with, so... Dun dun dun. The great joys of the drama from a really small gaming community. Well, I hope it was at least the comedy form of drama, not the oh god form of drama. You're dark blue. You're fine. I have a shiny new rune-carved hammer to hit things with, so I am the mighty Cleric now. Ideally, what I don't want to have to do is start shouting an OOC to put together a group and then have to also be the de facto leader of the group. I do that enough in the evenings. I don't want to do it on my afternoon goof-off play as well. I don't remember. Are metal nails actually currently crafting items, or are they kind of not hooked in yet? I've had people say both. Okay, that pull should absolutely not have worked like that. Morrigal is not in the kin. That's actually in that lore master is in a an old kin on the server, and she's still there because she's the leader of the kin, so it keeps the kin house active. I have my champion, my rune keeper, my hunter, just a lot of characters. Most of my 150s are in the Mithril League, but the rune keeper, or sorry, the lore master and my captain, those are my two 150s that aren't in the kin. But if you're looking for them, you can add Morrigal or Illogical to your friends list, and so if I'm on them, you'll see me online if I'm on that character. I have a lot of characters, so not all of them are in kin. Most of the time, though, if I'm online, I'm usually on Nautilogical or I'm on Harrowhark, my champion or my rune keeper. Although I have been playing the captain more lately because I'm playing around with a weird kind of a tank build with a lot of healing gear to see if I can do like a 1 captain, 2 DPS, 3-man run, and how viable that is once I get some gear. Because if I can kind of self-sufficiency tank enough to last through those fights, and let the DPS take care of things, I think that that's going to be a good mix. Nice, yeah. One of these days, how did I get raw amber from mining for chopping a tree? Okay, sure. One of these days, I need to pick my bear back up and really start leveling it. I'm just not sure if I want to go blue or yellow on it as a primary. And my inclination would be to go blue, but then I realized, like, I already have my champ as kind of my main tank, and I've been speccing my captain as a tank also. I might need to do something that's not a tank for a primary spec one of these days. It's just so much fun tanking on the champ. Partly because nobody expects it to work, and then you pull off a good champ tank run and people are like, huh, hang on a second, that actually is good. Right, OOC chat is still absolutely dead. So this might just be some running around killing green and teal Gadai. Well, I mean, there is definitely nothing wrong with doing a slow roll for your first run through and kind of seeing all the sights. I'm gonna say probably by the time you level your first alt, I'm gonna guess you don't do the full completion thing and start to, start going down a quicker path. But hey, at that point in time, you'll have seen all the quests and all the sites. And man, your virtues are going to be in good shape on that character. Because you are going to have deeds done. Okay, this time around, I am not going to miss this recruit who's standing on the other side of the tree. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Tonight, my plan is to do kind of similar to what I did last night and look to get some tier 2 plus groups rolling. Hopefully, we have enough 150s on an Akin tonight that I can pull some guild folks in. But if not, it'll be shouting in LFF again. This is the... Nope, that's not the broken one. That's just one that did not want to aggro until I was right up on her. Which is funny because she is dark blue. She should have absolutely seen me. But hey. Oh, that's the broken one, so here we go. You come with me. That's why this one's taking longer. This is a white con. Oh, hey, awesome. I will take some back armor. And I also got another earring, so this character now has back armor and earrings and rings. That's how you know you've become a real MMO character, is you have a cloak and some jewelry. How close can I get to this guy before they actually... There we go. I'm a very sneaky cleric in chain. There's a little bit of LFG, but it is all clerics, rogues, and wizards. And of course there's another fool stud right after I got the first one. So I went from having only one earring to 3. And I do not have 3 earrings in which to insert jewelry, so one of those is getting sold. Alright, fuck you, wolf. And you can't gather when combat. Alright, that's That's bunk. If a mob is just sitting there running, I should be able to pick flowers. Let's see if we filter 5 to 8. Yeah, there ain't a whole lot on, and only 2 of us are looking for group in that level range, so that's kind of shitty. And my ore's not up either. Oof. Yeah, none of my harvesting nodes are up there. That's usually the best way to get something to actually attack you, is to stop and try and pick flowers or gather something. So I will pop down and see if... Actually, no, I need to sell first. But then I'm going to pop down and see if the other mini camp is spawned and available for the taking. Keeping an eye on OOC, but there is absolutely fuck all happening. And again, really, really want escape closing all windows. Not one at a damn time. Basic UI design features, VR. I will stop for the apple tree, though. I'm also really looking forward to when they get the UI fixes in that we should be getting, because the the shield display on health bars persisting when there is no shield currently, when that gets fixed, it will be a lot easier as a cleric to be able to actually know when you need to replace your barriers on people. Right now, it kind of always ends up looking like people that you've put barriers on still have barriers on them. Which is just a little bit problematic if you're trying to actually maintain them. And I know that Grey Howler there is minding its own business and everything, but it's XP. And one thing I also do find really interesting, and I'm not sure if it's going to persist or not, but currently, if you have an active barrier, it does not just absorb damage, it will prevent certain status effects from applying in the first place. Like that wolf's mangle got absorbed by the barrier rather than applied and then damage ticks from it being absorbed. It just absorbed the effect wholesale. Let's see, I do need boar meat, and that is a boar. The boar is yellow. It's probably a little bit above my pay grade at the moment. Yeah, these boars are just a touch higher than I want to take on. Yeah, I am really curious to see if that is intended or just because it is a very basic implementation of the absorb system, where it is treating the first tick of mangle as the damage that mangle does for absorb purposes and not landing the actual effect. Because frankly, that is a really easy system to exploit if they go forward with that design for shields and barriers. Now, as somebody who plans to play a cleric, like, it's kind of cool and everything, but I cannot see that lasting. This is probably gonna be 2, maybe 3. Let's see what pulls. And I'll take a quick mana break before I pull more, because you never know what happens in a camp like this. You can have all of these guys just end up chaining each other because line of sight was weird. Or you can have the single pull that in no way, shape, or form should be a single pull. You never know. That one is a teal con, so she's in for a bad day. And again, technically, for example, this is a teal con, which starting out would be a fight, but because I'm sitting here wearing all chain and I have a hand-me-down Forgotten Knight shield and rune-carved hammer, because at this point people are functionally just giving away gear as they outgrow it because nothing's bound and there's no degrading. There is a glut of lower level gear out there just absolutely powering up lobies. Which is another thing that VR is going to have to really closely examine as they move into later development stages. is how do they really want to handle the utter persistence of gear trivializing stuff like this. What am I in combat with? Oh. The Howler spawned in, but didn't load its model right away. All of a sudden my screen went flashing red borders showing I was in combat. But I couldn't see anything actually attacking me yet. That will happen. So this is likely to be a 3-pole here, and I've got a dark blue, a teal, and a teal. So really shouldn't be a problem, but I am going to make sure that I get full mana. Or that recruit can wander away, and I can take advantage of that to turn this into a 2-pole. Yeah, giving away gear is great. The catch is that right now in the system where gear is not bound to character at all, and there is no degrade or other mechanic, and there is no way to disassemble gear to get crafting materials or anything else, making that a way to remove gear from the economy of the game. Gear is, for the most part, functionally eternal at this level, which means that as people level out of, you know, these chain pieces or these hammers and stuff like this, they're basically just accumulating in the world and getting thrown back to whoever will take them off your hands. And that's one thing in the first couple weeks or even few weeks of the game. Over time, that basically just makes an absolute glut of gear that is unbalanced in a certain level range being either thrown away, vendor trashed, or just handed to people so that somebody can get them out of their inventory. Which then means you either design around the expectation that every new character is going to be absolutely twinked by all that floating around gear that exists, or you do something about that problem. Or you ignore it and everybody is ridiculously overpowered as they crawl through level brackets because people in the level bracket above are just throwing gear to lower level players so that they can get it out of their inventory. Like yesterday, I was talking to Vandrad, who was transferring some gear for me, and he was mentioning the fact that he has at this point a whole handful of these forgotten knight shields and rune carved hammers and stuff like that, all this kind of gear just hanging around that is stupid for a lobby. Like, it makes my level 6 able to absolutely take on white and yellow cons without needing to worry about them overly, which I should not be able to do given the core design tenets of the game, and absolutely could not do without having been handed twinked gear. It's something that is going to, if it doesn't change over time, represent a real balance issue that they're going to have to decide how they want to handle. See, that I think is alchemical, and I don't care, but time is actually useful, so I'm going to keep that. So just for shits and giggles there, and because there's currently no death penalties, so I'm going to run back down the road here real quick and find another one of those yellow boars. Which, of course, none of them will be close by when I'm looking for one. So this slate-hide boar is a proper yellow con, which, especially as a cleric, you know, bear in mind, I am a cleric here. I am a fucking healer. This should be a mob that will absolutely wreck me. Right there, he's doing his rage. I'm just gonna pull him onto the road so I don't get the wandering wolf as well. This should be a mob that I, bare minimum, need to think twice about engaging with. And instead, I can functionally just stand here toe-to-toe with them. I have not lost a single point of health. That right there is a core problem with the philosophy of all gear being unbound and just handable. I should not have been able to do that. I have a few buffs left over from being buffed at the well. They're all Lobby buffs. And I have no food buffs running. And I'm a healer. Yep, it is a core design issue with the non-bound, non-degrading, non-deconstructible, and especially lots of gear that does not yet have level requirements. There are some gear that does have level requirements, but there's a lot that does not have any level requirements. So I can just do this. Like, yeah, my offense sucks, but I have a mace that I have this hammer that hits way harder than I have any right to hit as a cleric, and I can just keep my barrier refreshed and chip away at this guy. This is only going to get worse as time goes on until they rebalance their approach to gear. I almost just took damage there because I didn't refresh my barrier. We can't have that now. did take damage because I wasn't refreshing my barrier. Yep. I lost 12 health on this fight after my buffs had all fallen off, aside from my own personal buff. So it'll be interesting to see as the design evolution goes on what VR's approach ends up being to... Oh, seriously, Wolf? Dude, you are dark blue. But yeah, it's going to be really interesting to see how their approach to gear changes over time as they see what players are doing in this whole level range with what we have right now. Oh, I see a shaman somewhere. Dang it, you ran away while I was skinning. I was going to buff you back. But thank you, random passing shaman. Let's see, if I were a Zip, where would I be? Gonna guess someplace around the crossroads. All right, so now we've got a tank in the group. So find us something to kill, Zip. Find us something to kill. So I don't know that I've ever actually properly grouped much with a paladin tank, so it's going to be interesting to see how they go. And what I actually should do here is I should trade gear with Zip so that he has chain and a shield and this hammer. You know, as the tank and stuff. So I'm going to... Awesome, so you got a good sword. Do you have a good shield? Because this shield is kind of stupid, to be honest. All right, well, at the very least, take these for now. That should get you a decent amount of extra armor class. Yeah, if you want to toss that over to me, we can switch back at the end. But at least for the moment, run around in some chain, man. Excellent. I mean, you still do look naked on my stream, but I'll just assume that you're a berserker, and the less armor you wear, the better. Yeah, there's a thing where equipping and re-equipping gear is kind of the key to getting it to actually appear on your character to other people. It's a little bit weird. Yeah, you grab that one. I'll grab the one up here. One constant in MMOs is stop for mining is always a rule. Because again, I don't do crafting on this character, but I am always happy to hand mats to somebody who does. Frail barrier and chain armor makes this just absolutely ridiculously overpowered. It's kind of funny. Yeah, it's yellow to me too, Zip, and that's just kind of like, again, the ridiculousness of being able to have this handed down gear is that yellows are just absolutely destroyable. Like, that functionally didn't touch your health bar and barely dented my mana bar. For a 0 challenge, 0 risk yellow mob. Yeah, I haven't seen any. I tossed you leads, so if you see anybody online, go ahead and pull them in. But I'm just not going to sit there spamming OOC, because I do that enough in my evening streams when I'm putting tier 2 and tier 3 runs together. I'm not going to do it here too. There's a limit to the number of times per day that I will herd cats. One thing I would like on the display is some indication of the length of time left on something like Frail Barrier, other than just it's starting to flash and then it's gone. Or the amount left. 'Cause I don't really trust the amount left piece. Because, as the UI says, I still have Frail Barrier up, but we know that that ain't true. Right, you get cleric buffs. I wish I had more buffs to give, but I just have the one. I might experiment with letting Zip lose a little bit of health just so that I actually get to use healing spells instead of just barrier. I'm also curious to see just how hard this boar actually hits him before he gets healed, because even with the barrier gone, you can see his health is barely dipping. Like, he is not even vaguely approaching something I would consider to be a danger zone, even if he took a crit. And then one Celestial Glow should basically top him off. Yeah, that's honestly kind of kind of a ridiculous amount of damage mitigation there. Absolutely. I can find that out. Went, wolf blood, boar blood. Knock yourself out. Oh. Zip, you can have all the blood. Oh, who was that down there, and do they need a cleric buff? There you go. Cleric buffs. Don't leave home without them. So yeah, this time around, I'm just going to go play the I'm not a barrier healer. I'm going to actually do the healer thing and let Zip take damage and then heal it back up. For shits and giggles. I mean science. Because I'm really curious to see how just overall efficient the celestial glow and such are. Because that right there should basically, yep. Heals for 42, and it's functionally a straight top off. And it barely dents my mana. Not that keeping up the barrier healing was hurting my mana or anything, but especially with the enchanter buffs I have, where I can actually regen mana in combat, this is just kind of silly. Okay, let's use a flicker to top Zip off because he's not taking enough damage. Zip, seriously. Sitting here trying to test out healing efficiency, and Zip isn't taking enough damage. The nerve of some people. I know, Zip. I'm just giving you shit. Seriously, boar, get back here. Did it die in the tree? Wow. Now it just points out, like, literally how ridiculous you can make some characters in this level range with a few pieces of the easy hand-me-down gear. Yeah, work in progress, very much, Zip. It's just kind of interesting. Like, this is one of those things where they're going to have to examine their design philosophy before they get too much further in and see the impact that this has and how they want to address it, you know? But that's why we have these testing sessions, so that we can give feedback like this and, you know, kind of let them know. This is a little bit ridiculous. Yeah, unfortunately, I have a bleeding cure and a disease cure. I do not have a poison cure. bashing away at the boars. Apparently need to eat some bread too. Although I don't think that really is hooked up yet. I just like seeing the bars be mostly full. Apparently I'm missing 10 health, just does not want to come back. There we go. Oh, is this our wayward runner boar? Nice. Let's say this dude already has cleric buff. But that was more boar blood. So I'm curious if we find another spider, and I'm curious to see, does the poison get fully mitigated like Mangle does with its bleed? Or does the poison successfully go through the barrier to land its condition? I don't know if you've tested that or not. Oh, there's a boar blood on this guy here too. Yeah, so I don't know if you've seen it, but you know how some creatures have like a mangle attack where they'll hit you with mangle and it'll put a bleed on you. If you have frail barrier up, the cleric barrier, it just straight up absorbs the mangle, and mangle never applies to you to put a bleed on. It just like negates the bleed fully. I'm curious to see if it does that to poisons as well, or if it's only to physical damage effects. Okay, so poison is doing the same. The shield just straight up absorbs the poison and makes it never land. Neat. I mean, I don't imagine that it's going to stay like that, but hey, it's nicely exploitable for now. That would absolutely make clerics, as a barrier healer, able to cheese any encounter that is balanced around status effects being applied. Like, that's just silly. All right, come back here, boar. Poor rabbit. Yep, King Rabbit and Jack Rabbit. Love that. Yoink. Yeah, so that rabbit there that we just fought, that is a placeholder for a mob called the Jacked Rabbit, which is a higher level rabbit. There's something it drops. I don't remember what it is, but it's one that gets frequently camped. Oh, the speed boots, that's right. Yeah, got a run speed buff. But yeah, so you'll see a lot of people there coming up here and killing the rabbit that spawns at that location so that they can try and get the jack rabbit to spawn. And yeah, that was just a straight up destroying of the Godai Trapper there, which little overpowered, but hey. Let's see, blackberries. Not a great haul from the blackberries. Only 4, but whatever. Home. Sir, you do not have cleric buff. You left home without a cleric buff. I am very disappointed in you for that. That Grey Howler really should have known better. No, and also I still have a quest to gather 10 apples that I need to turn in, and also cooking stuff that I can hand off to somebody so they can make me food. And I think Zip needs to return to Crossroads or someplace else soon to sell, because he is encumbered. I always forget that this bindstone is here. I still think that this is way more convenient than the Demeth bindstone. I'm not going to buy myself here just yet on this character, but I keep meaning to come back here and rebind my Dire Lord, because it makes it a lot easier if you need to potentially go between zones if you've got a bindstone that is right here by the border. Gas bat hunting? All right. Be very quiet. We're hunting gas bats. Oh, there's a gas bat nestling, which is a yellow con. Stupid blurred vision. I need to fix that display there some. Yeah, the gas bat is definitely a bit of a jerk. Yeah, I think what I'm going to do is just make sure that I keep barrier up, because that absorbs his drained blood. So he doesn't get to heal. Which again, bypassing a core mechanic. Bat blood and a large skull. Did you need bat blood also? Because this guy's got bat blood on him. Alright. I'll just nab those. Want to run back to Crossroads real quick so you can sell then? Sounds good. Yeah, thanks for hopping on and running some duo. Yep, next season is starting soon and Mad Run comes in. So I know a lot of groups are basically hitting hard to prep for that. So let's see. Don't mind me, I'm just jogging down the road, mostly naked. It's totally normal. Everything is perfectly fine here. Yep, that's basically what it is going streaking. All right, well, if you are, yeah, I was going to say, if you're swapping, I was going to see if I can get that chain back from you, and I'll hand you back your leather. Thank you. Oh, hands too. I think missing hands. Awesome. And at some point in time, I'll get another set of chain built up, and we can have more to go around. I've just been really lazy about getting people to make it. All right, thanks, Zip. Thanks for running some duos, and go enjoy the grinding. So, I think if I log out and back in, that will fix the UI thing if it's still looking like I'm in a group. I've seen that be an actual bug and mess stuff up before, so I want to see if this fixes it. There we go. Alright, I'll put myself back as LFG, but again, there's nobody in my level range hanging out LFG, so it is likely that this is going to just be me. Let's see. I have plenty of weight capacity still left. So I'm going to go see if I can find myself a few more Gadai. Because I have gotten a decent little bit of XP today. I've gotten about a third of a level. Close to it at least. And it's only 1:30, so I've still got plenty of time to goof off and hopefully get something together. Hello, Gadai. Come with me, please. Good, Gadai. Oh, that's what I should do. I should go, after I clear these camps, I'm going to go back up towards the Dire Lord starting area and see if the wolf is up. Even though the Necros really is only curse resistance, it's still nice to have, and it seems like it's a pretty consistent drop off of that named wolf. And it's better than not having anything in that slot. I took a couple of points of damage there. I am upset with you, sir. He dodged my bash. That is not cool. All that readiness wasted. Yeah, this is the white con mob, so he might drop that axe, and he also might drop the back armor or an earring. We'll see. Of course, both of which I already have, but he seems to be the one who consistently drops those kind of extra pieces. I'll just let the recruits come and finish them off real quick, and the recruiter will come back when he comes back. Nope, he still doesn't want any part of this. He is just straight up noped out of this. There we go. Right, that is 2 down and 1 to go. And again, all these blues and whites and functionally no lost health. Just when I'm lazy and let my barrier drop, I took a couple points of damage. and still almost at full mana. Okay, let's see. Recruiter. Yep, he had the axe and the back armor. This, I think, is the broken recruit. Yep. Okay. But there's Casperlight up here, so I'm going to go nab that real quick. Yeah, some of the screams are absolutely wonderful. I think they're a little on the overdramatic side, and you gotta love it. Oh, my shaman buffs are starting to wear off. So what I should do is I should head back to the well and see if I can get another round of full buffs. I am only really missing the shaman buffs right now from the core buffs, I think. And I do have all the, like, good shiny buffs, so I might not. Get some nice night sky scenery here. And that Asherite right there up ahead, that is usually a trick, because there's a Godai Trapper that's usually right on the other side of that rock that just loves to aggro anybody who falls for it and goes for that Asherite. I know there are a lot of people out there who like the whole laughing skeleton thing, and I just don't get it, and it might just be because I have no nostalgia for that. I don't understand people's insistence that the skeletons in games must laugh, because there are literally people who, in Pantheon's development, have basically made the statement that if the skeletons don't laugh, they're going to riot, and it won't be a good MMO. And I am baffled by this. But again, nostalgia's a hell of a drug. Ooh, I got a blackberry bush, an Asherite, and a Casperlight all right by each other. I'm gonna take that. Oh yeah, there have been people who, because skeletons have been in Pantheon for a long time as fightable enemies, and there have been people pretty consistently who, when the skeletons don't laugh, which skeletons have no musculature, there's nothing to produce a laugh. But non-laughing skeletons has been an absolute, oh, this dude's gonna yoink the Casperlight. Well, hashtag community matters. But yeah, there have been people who are genuinely pissed anytime non-laughing skeletons are brought up, potentially. Okay. What I'm going to do here is pop back to Clericville. I'm going to sell some junk to hopefully be able to run fast enough to get over to the bank and deposit some crafting materials. Now let's see. Scavenger wants the apples. Excellent. So I'm going to go hand those in to the scavenger. Say, I brought you apples. Give me gifts. And it does look like everybody, well, most people here have cleric buff, but not everybody. So I will throw a cleric buff. And 3 ash branches. Sure. Now all of this crap is going to get thrown in the bank. Those I very definitely don't need. There are some of these things where I'm not quite sure why I'm saving them. Various weapons, absolutely solid. But I definitely don't need to keep patched cloth pants or a tarnished axe on the cleric. Are not needed. And yeah, once again, LFG is basically a no man's land at the moment. And if we look at who's on, who is in the 5 to 8 range. Again, almost nobody, and I'm the only one who is currently marked LFG, so it goes. Oh, there's I used to moo, who is awesome and handed out goodies a few streams ago. Do you have cleric buff? You have cleric buff. Good. I think at this point everybody at the well should have cleric buff. Tack has it. Cat. Kind of watching the people who are running around randomly. God, targeting is so bad sometimes to actually be able to click on somebody and get a display. Riggs, you do not have cleric buff, sir. You left home without a cleric buff. You absolutely should know better than that. And so did you. I swear, some people. So it does look like things are basically on the quiet front. The only people looking for group are in the teens. I see Toadman Bear's looking for one. He's got his monk up to 14 already. Oop, Bones, you just joined, but you have Cleric. Okay, good. Kargan, you do not have a Cleric buff. Sir. All right, so I think at this point in time, there ain't anything that's actually going to be happening for a while. So I'm going to take a bit of a break. And let's go over to Casually East, because they're playing Pantheon as well. And I'll be back on with some... that's actually something that Pantheon does do, is it is very common that the humanoid mobs do drop what they have or what they're holding. But yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and we'll hop out to Casually East. And I'll be back on later on tonight with some Lotro. Hopefully doing some more Tier 2, Tier 3, maybe even start on Tier 4, depending on who's on and how things go.